everybody, it's Anna, Lovely with Lard, here at Sobremesa Farm Kitchen, and today we are going to make a really quick, easy, simple thing that my kids and my husband absolutely adore, and it's something that I actually didn't have until I was 21 years old and I was living in Missouri. Today we are going to be making biscuits using some of our rendered lard that we do here at the farm. So as we get ready to get started, let's see what ingredients we need. Once you have all your ingredients all gathered up, we will go ahead and get started because I have all mine set out here. I got my mise en place ready to go, and I got my oven back here already preheating. We want to preheat it to 425 degrees. A nice and hot oven, and make sure it's nice and hot when you get ready to go to put your biscuits in. I have my bowl and all my ingredients here, and we're going to go ahead and start mixing them together.
All right, so here we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour in our bowl, and we're going to add all of our dry ingredients. First thing we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of kosher salt into our bowl. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Don't get that mixed up with baking soda. It needs to be baking powder. We're going to take our wooden spoon and we're just going to give this all a little bit of a stir. We're going to incorporate all these dry ingredients in together with one another. Just make sure that they're all over. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take our rendered lard from one of our pigs and make sure that it's nice and cold, and we're going to go ahead and add it into our flour mixture. And we're going to take our pastry cutter right here, and we're going to go ahead and start incorporating that cold lard into the flour mixture. And you want to make sure that you are pushing down and then kind of twisting the wrist to cut that lard into the flour. And every once in a while, if you need to stop and scrape the excess lard that's building up into the pie or the pastry cutter, you can do that, just like that. And go ahead and keep on doing this until it resembles small gravel. You want to really get it incorporated. Turning the bowl a little bit if you need to. And like I said, if you don't have lard, you can be using cold butter in this at this time. All right, now we're going to make a little well inside of our dry ingredients, and we're going to be pouring 3/4 cup of whole milk. We don't want skim, we want whole milk. We're going to gently fold the dry ingredients in with the wet. Just taking our time, not overbeating it. If we overbeat this mixture with the spoon, the dough becomes really tough, and we don't want to overwork it. We don't want to overwork the gluten in the flour, and so we're just really taking our time and scraping off any excess to make sure that it all gets incorporated. We want to make sure all that dry flour on the bottom gets incorporated in with all the wet ingredients. Some days I feel that this comes together quicker than others. But what a great, quick idea for breakfast. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my hands, and I'm just going to gently knead the dough, getting the rest of the little bit of yummies incorporated in there. It's easier to kind of get that, and I like kneading it inside the bowl It just gives me a space to kind of contain the dough and to get all those little drying morsels incorporated into it. Now, I don't want to do it too much, but I just want to make sure I get all those dry ingredients scraped up. And then from here, from our bowl, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the dough out onto the surface, our work surface here. And we're going to go ahead and push with our hands down, kind of pushing it out with the palm of our hands. And we're going to fold it towards us in half. And then we're going to turn it a quarter. We're going to fold it again towards us, push down, turn it a quarter, fold it towards us, push down. And we're going to do this about 4 or 5 times. Just really getting everything put together. Adding some layers to this dough. Now I'm going to add a little bit of flour down onto my work surface so the dough doesn't stick. Spread it out a little bit, and we aren't going to use a rolling pin. We're going to push it out with our hands, the palms of our hands, and we want it to be about a 1/2 inch thick or a little bit thicker, depending on your preference and how big you want your biscuits. Just using the palms of your hands will get you to a nice, ready surface to work with our biscuit cutter. And there we have it. We have our dough ready to go for our biscuit cutter.
All right, so now our dough is ready to go to get cut out. We have it all patted out, and I am going to be using my biscuit cutter that my husband and I actually found at an antique store in Sioux City, Iowa, which is kind of hilarious because in the north, we really don't have biscuits. First time I ever had biscuits and gravy, I was 21 years old in Springfield, Missouri. At my job, I never had it. Kid you not. So this has taken me years to figure out how to make an amazing biscuit. And I tell you, one of the key ingredients, I feel like, is the rendered lard that we use from our pigs. I feel like that is probably the #1 ticket there. So we're gonna take our biscuit cutter, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my biscuits really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on a cookie sheet that I have ready to go right here. And I'm gonna just quick cut these out. Saturday morning, you make this with a little biscuit or a little gravy. Another thing that I have fallen in love with, that I have with it quite often, there's a couple things actually. I absolutely love opening it up with nice and warm, taking mascarpone cheese, spreading the mascarpone cheese on there with some homemade strawberry preserves with a little bit of finishing salt on top. Oh, it's amazing. Another thing with the mascarpone cheese is some I don't want to say homemade, but it was kind of homemade. Some of my maple syrup that I get from my uncle up north. You put that on your biscuit. Oh, it's killer. It's so amazing. All right, now I have a little scrap here. I'm going to kind of pile it back together, kind of fold them all back in. Now I tell you, this is probably going a little too far, but I will tell you that my big dog that you might see every once in a while or hear every once in a while in my videos, Mario, big labradoodle, has broke into the house a couple times, has figured out how to get in from the backyard when he's out there. And he loves my biscuits. There could be a ton of food on the counter, and the only thing he will eat and get are the biscuits. And so it's a kind of running joke in our family that Mario loves our biscuits as well, the biscuits as well. All right, so I have just a little bitty scrap. I'll just throw that off. We'll make a really small little biscuit off to the side. Just because I have a little bit of leftover. It's not big enough really to make a biscuit. So I have my oven ready to go at 425. I'm gonna go ahead, put these amazing biscuits into the oven, and I'll be back and show you exactly what they look like when they come out. Now we're gonna cook them for between 10 and 12 minutes, depending on your oven. You wanna have them nice and golden brown now. Brown on the top and golden brown on the bottom. Not only can you have biscuits for breakfast, but you can have biscuits, especially when you use the mascarpone cheese and the strawberry preserves, any time of the day. Lunch, dinner, snack, dessert. I mean, who doesn't love an amazing biscuit? All right, it's almost time for us to take those biscuits out of the oven. They've been in there about 11 minutes. And some of you might be thinking, well, hey, Anna, I don't have lard in my house. And that's okay. Not everybody has lard. I know that we are a little bit weird when it comes to stuff like that we always just have lard and tallow on hand, but we do. If you don't have lard, it's okay. Next best thing is a really high quality butter, and make sure that that butter is nice and cold. So if you don't have lard in your home, totally use a good quality butter, okay? All right, so I think our biscuits are ready to pull out of the oven, so let's come back here and get those suckers pulled out. Oh, and they look beautiful. Turn the oven off so I don't forget, because if I don't turn it off right away, I will forget. I am infamous for that. All right, so here are our biscuits that we just pulled out of the oven. I don't know if you can see that. Look how beautiful those biscuits are and how much they raised up, how layered they are, fluffy. There's our little guy right there. He's just a little guy. And on the bottoms, they are nice and golden brown on the bottoms. That's what we're looking for, golden brown on the top. And as I said, you can serve those with gravy. You could do just a regular white gravy. You can do a sausage gravy. You could actually do a chicken gravy if you wanted. Where I'm from, we love white chicken gravy. And or you can do homemade maple syrup, homegrown maple syrup on it. You could do honey and butter on it. I mean, yum. Or what I had said earlier, the mascarpone and the jam with a little finishing salt on top. Perfect. It's so perfect. So, from this northern Iowa girl who has finally perfected the biscuit to your house, from ours to yours. This is what I really wanted to say. From our house to yours. From this northern farm girl's house to yours. If I can do it, you can do it. From start to finish, a little over 20 minutes, and you can have a magnificent breakfast in a snack, a lunch, a dinner, or a beautiful dessert of your choice. So, we'll talk to you next time.